Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Are you all doing well after lunch? Yes, sir. Great. With all due respects to today's dignitaries, Chancellor, Director of Academics, Registrars, Faculty, Staff, and my dear students who are so-called future leaders of India and the globe. It is my rarest honor to stand in front of you and address the bright minds of the world. Today you might be sitting in those chairs, but tomorrow you are the leaders on whose shoulders this country is going to be based on. I was a student 10 years ago, but now I'm here. So I'm pretty sure you are going to dream big, work hard, and let the whole universe conspire to help you succeed. It's my privilege to be here this evening to address all of you. You know, nowadays, all the news is about tech, quick commerce, and AI. But I'm working in an old-fashioned and boring industry, manufacturing. But if you don't transform manufacturing, you don't get anywhere in terms of job and wealth creation for our people. All of us cannot be employed in high tech, right? Someone has to make the food we eat and someone has to recycle the waste we generate. And that's what I do, among other things. Today, I want to share with you a glimpse of my journey as a young entrepreneur. You see, entrepreneurship is like a spiritual journey. Ultimately, it is a very lonely path. It is so lonely because most people do not understand why do we want to work so hard, take huge risks and put ourselves through a roller coaster. Even today, after all these things, after all the success of the biopic, if you go to my father and ask, what do you want Srikanth to do? He would happily smile and say, I want him to get a government job and get married to a pretty girl. You know, getting married to a pretty girl may not be a big challenge because I'm already married to a girl of my choice who's a doctor by profession and blessed with a young daughter of 10 months. But working for someone else, let alone for the government, fills me with total dread. And that is why I became an entrepreneur. You know, I'm such a rebel, no one would employ me. Even Invertis University. By the way, they have given me an opportunity to speak. But if अगर उनका सिस्टम पूरा बिगाड़ने जाएंगे तो बोलेगा भैया तुम यहाँ से चले जाओ. You know, I truly think our personal experiences and hardships often shape our journey in life and in entrepreneurship. You know, my parents are agricultural farmers and even today they have a yearly income of less than ₹1,00,000. Yet, they gave me utmost love and care and I'm so grateful to them. That is why, from a young age, I was determined not to be a financial burden on them. You know, but when I started in a government school far away from my village, it was challenging to say the least because I did not even have ₹1 of discretionary income in my pocket. We generally as rural Indians do not even have any money back then. So I walked to school every day for 5 kilometers, crossing all the struggles and bad roads and whatnot. Let me assure you, all my senses were keenly developed, simply surviving walking on the village roads for 2 years without the privilege of eyesight. What happened, the other thing that probably shaped me more than anything else is what happened every day when I get to school. Nobody acknowledged my presence, nobody would talk to me. So I sat in the last bench wallowing in my loneliness. Now that I think Lord Gautam Buddha would have had similar experience when he sat in Lumbini before he got enlightened. But as a 6-year-old, I even knew about who Gautam Buddha was, right? I just wanted to be like a normal kid and want to play with everybody. But that was not happening. So that was the first time I felt like I'm the poorest child in this world. Not that I don't have lunchbox to eat, but I was made lonely by the perceptions of the people. And this is where I've learned, my dear friends, that loneliness is actually the poverty and not the wealth in this world that are not due to lack of wealth or money that makes you poor. It's lack of empathy and lack of the acknowledgement is what makes you vulnerable and poor in this world. And I spent 2 years in that period of loneliness, and let me tell you, it's the deadliest problem to overcome. Because it was a blessing for me. It was from that loneliness I derived my life and I derived my career. It was after 2 lonely years, my father finally decided that I should go to a special school in Hyderabad so that I could be with kids of my own kind. That was when my liberation began. It was at Hyderabad I was access to top class teachers, mentors, school library, accessible education materials and a peer group that I've been in. Wow, that was when I thought Hyderabad is where nothing is impossible. God can give you your starting circumstances, but you make your own destiny. The future is in our hands with just enough randomness to make things interesting and less predictable. This is not to say that the transition for an 8-year-old kid away from his parents to a big city was not challenging. Of course it was, but the stakes were higher. Think about it. A person working in a quarry from morning to evening is definitely working harder than any of us in this room, but her productivity is not enough to feed 3 meals a day or let alone build something meaningful. This is why I tell you, my dear friends, that I truly believe exposure at the right age to right things is the most important thing. But what you do with that exposure purely depends on your talent and hard work. But without right exposure, all your hard work and talent won't take you beyond breaking stones by hand all day. And today, you are lucky students and lucky leaders, because studying from prestigious universities like Invertis, who gives you right exposure, exposing you to talks like this, lectures from world-class renowned faculties and much more. What else you need? Everything as it is on your plate, and it is you who needs to now believe in your own self, believe in your own spark and achieve success in whatever you do. I am one of the lucky ones. These setbacks I had in life enabled me to gain more exposure. Whenever someone said no to me, I would climb over their head to proceed to the next step. This is the secret in life. The definition of success is nothing but seeing yes wherever you look. You know, the ground level is always filled with no sayers, but as you go higher, you see people who believe anything is possible, because that's how they perceive the world. But also, if our response to challenges is to say bring it on, then the whole world will conspire to help you succeed. When I saw cottage industry in India 10 years ago, I saw a lot of problems. You know, the cottage industry is nothing but substandard, subscalable, low productive enterprise. This is nothing but corporate version of breaking stones by hand all day. But if you can't grow, you can't become efficient and innovate. Without efficiency and innovation, you fall further behind. This was a vision I had for Indian cottage industry, to bring all the cottage industries to one umbrella and one roof and consolidate into an economic powerhouse. Because most of the cottage industries in India were working with cash-based unviable economic models, and the cost of capital for these players was close to 50%. So I simply thought, if I can bring in my MIT level thinking to a cottage industry, then we can do a magic. And that's what we did. We got capital at 15% per annum instead of 50% per annum. That is what supercharged our growth. Growth is a self-fulfilling prophecy if you convince world to give you cheaper capital. You know, I simply had this vision of creating world-class products out of waste while using people who are at the margins of the society. Other than that, we were purely a commercial enterprise. Our vision is to recycle and reuse and reduce everything and anything, and create a meaning for circular economy. We now at Bareilly can recycle everything that you throw into valuable products that you proudly want to use, ranging from disposable products to beauty care and cosmetic products that you use in day-to-day life. We are now in the process of creating all your home care, personal care and beauty care products by using agricultural residues and plant-based materials, and bring the meaning of green chemistry to all your sulfate heavy based home care and personal care products. We at Bareilly has no limitation on what we can create.
The leader myself has no limitation.
You know, I will close by answering one question that everybody asks me nowadays. You know, you have become a hero now, but you have come from a small family and small agricultural background. So what? I tell them I did not become a hero after my biopic, but I was a born hero. When I was born, the whole world said I was a zero because of my lack of my eyesight. But it was my parents and myself who told them, look, you're thinking I'm a zero, but I'm always a born hero because I am blessed with the power of vision.
Yes.
We all often forget and think sight and vision are the same. They're actually wrong.
Sight is purely for the body and vision is purely for the mind.
If you don't have sight, you can conquer the world, but if you don't have vision, you can do nothing, my dear friends. Vision is something which is in all of us and we're all blessed with it. The only problem is we don't invoke it. I know I am a lucky person and a blessed child because since I don't see, all that I can do is visualize and manifest and turn my vision into reality. It is this vision that told them that Srikanth is going to become a hero, and 32 years later, I am a hero for the world. Heroism is always within all of us, in our DNA. It is with which we can do anything in this world. You know, I'll also tell you this.
Whenever someone said no, I have proven that I can do it right. Yes. Yes, no is something that I cannot hear or process. Yes is something that my ears can process. If you want me to somehow bother me, all that you have to say
is, Srikanth, you can't do this. Then I will ensure I'll do it and prove you wrong. When I was studying in school, everybody said, I'm a useless student. I cannot play cricket. But I proved them wrong by playing for India. When someone said you cannot play baseball, I hit the longest world run in the baseball and landed the ball directly from Boston to Hyderabad. When someone said I cannot play chess, I have not only become an international grandmaster but proved them wrong while doing swimming, ice skating, archery, whatnot. I had no limitation in what can I do. Because my mind is bursting with new ideas every day. My mind has no limitation. This is something that my parents taught me while they are bringing up against all odds. The only thing that I remember from my own parents from my formative years
is the concept of compassion and empathy, which is what is going to make you into great leaders.
Compassion does not come from donating money to beggar on the street. It comes from creating meaningful opportunities and livelihood opportunities for someone around you. And it doesn't come from the sympathy that you show on vulnerable people, my dear friends. It comes from the empathy that you have on people who are at the margins of this world and society. And if you can show empathy and make all your workspaces, all your companies, all your schools, universities inclusive, then the whole world is going to become so beautiful, so inclusive, and so rich and so happy. And at the end, if you do something for someone, you will be the first beneficiary. You should be the one to initiate your own change. I never stepped into someone's shoes, but I always have created my own shoes to walk on.
Waiting for someone to make a change is not in my DNA, but walking right into the problem and making it felt is what I really wanted, what I did so far in this last 32 years, and I'm continuously going to do it. Because I truly think one cannot create something by sitting in the lap of luxury. In fact, our brains are hardwired to produce our best efforts only when we face hardship. And so far in this last 33 years, I faced so much of hardship in my life that it has become an addiction for me. But I also think if my response to challenges is to say bring it on, then I'm sure the whole world is behind me to make it happen.
So as you, if I can do all these things without eyesight, but with the power of visualization, manifestation and vision, imagine how much can you do with an added bonus of sight that you have. If I can do all this, why not you? इसीलिए मैं बोलता हूँ, अभी तक जो कुछ आप लोग देखा है वो वो सिर्फ ट्रेलर है, पिक्चर अभी बाकी है दोस्त. Thank you so much for having me and looking forward to seeing all of you in great heights. Thank you.